Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ant-Man 2050, and we're playing Mortal Kombat XL. I'm going to actually do something a little bit different from my usual videos, which are typically playthroughs and stuff. Actually, I would really love to be working with Nether Realm Studios on Mortal Kombat XI. Now, I don't know about how you guys felt about it, but Mortal Kombat X had potential to be fantastic, but its story mode was a little lacking. The gameplay, however, is incredible. But since their storyline was a little weak, I actually do think that I could help them make a much better story. So what I'm going to be trying to do with this series of videos is I'm actually going to be going through the entire cast of Mortal Kombat XL and be kind of talking about how I think their story should continue into Mortal Kombat XI. I do actually have an entire idea of what I think Mortal Kombat XI should be, but it'd be kind of nice to actually get in with the Nether Realm Studio guys and make Mortal Kombat XI. I'd really like to actually work with you guys on it. That being said, I'm going to be actually going through all the members of the cast, including the DLC guys, which I probably won't be talking about their continued appearances in Mortal Kombat. But still, either way, I think that Mortal Kombat XI should actually take place about a year to 2 years after the ending of Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat XI should actually see a lot of these characters picking up where their story kind of left off. In the case of Kung Lao, which is the character that we're going to be talking about now, I actually would like to use both the endings for Kung Lao and Kung Jin. Now, we all know that those are not canon. Any ending in Mortal Kombat should be taken kind of with a grain of salt. However, they actually had some really cool ideas in there. I think what we find is Kung Lao battling with what he's become. With no longer Shinnok and Quan Chi in the picture, all the Revenants are going to have to wind up actually facing themselves. They no longer have their souls controlled by a third-party source, so either they can give into the darkness, which is the new part of their being, with Quan Chi's control, or try to find some place in the middle. With Kung Jin's help, Kung Lao, I believe, will actually find a level of serenity. He will not stop being a Revenant, and he's going to be pretty much trapped in the Netherworld for most of the game. However, I see his story continuing on beyond that point, and actually his serenity, maybe even giving us access to characters like Liu Kang, which I'll have stories for that later. Either way, his new status as, let's say, a half-purified Kung Lao will affect the story in how we see the Netherworld and kind of the denizens inside of it. I think we also will be seeing certain items from the Netherworld can play a bigger part. As we're going to be seeing, I would actually like to see Ashura reappear, and her ascension, the blade that she finds, actually being something that connects to Kung Lao's story. Now, we have to understand there's not going to be a whole lot of roster space, and although I'm going through all the different characters, let's face it, some characters need to stick out just to be story elements. Maybe that's the way that we go with Kung Lao. I would hate to see that because he's actually one of my favorite characters. I do think we can't keep all the Revenant characters around. And so it actually might be a good time to get rid of Kung Lao in the story. He may actually give up his chance for human life again after finding the blade and giving it to Ashura. Either way that we go, I believe this actually opens up a lot of different possibilities for Kung Lao's character. And it would give us a chance to get Kung Lao and Kung Jin actually in the same story together, which I actually think is really a necessary thing, as Kung Jin actually comes off as a great character, but we don't really have any time to explore him in the story mode. We know that he's got a lot more knowledge of Outworld than he's letting on, but that's pretty much all we really know. And Kung Lao pretty much could have gone the entire game without seeing him in Mortal Kombat 11, even though he's one of my favorite characters to use, and was really well worked out. All three of his variations were fantastic. If you did make it back in as a playable character in 11, which I would like to see, the only thing I would really switch for him is to give him back his flying kick that was taught to him by Bro Raicho. Who knows, even as a part of his reascension, he may spend that time training with Bro Raicho and learn it in our new continuity. Either way, I think Kung Lao's new personality that he has in Mortal Kombat X, his kind of monk-like attributes, would be something that would allow him to overcome the darkness inside of himself. Couldn't change himself from being a Revenant, but that doesn't mean he has to be the dark version of Kung Lao that we see in Mortal Kombat IX. In doing so, he may actually open the doorway for other characters to realize they don't have to be Revenants either, or they don't have to be the dark versions of themselves that they are as Revenants. The main thing, though, is it gives us a chance to explore Kung Jin if we did actually wind up killing off Kung Lao for 11, which I would hate to do. I want to make sure that's very clear to everyone, as he's one of my favorite characters. If we wind up doing it, then we could wind up giving Kung Jin Kung Lao's hat instead of just the little half ring that he has in Mortal Kombat 11. I think this ultimately serves a lot of different purposes. It'll open up a field of the White Lotus Society, could actually put a hero character in the Nether Realm, and it'll give us a chance to see the Nether Realm as something other than just, I don't know, kind of a set dropping that we see it is in most of these Mortal Kombat games. Either way, I think his story is not done, and I think he has a lot more that he could give to us in Mortal Kombat 11. That's pretty much my thoughts on Kung Lao. If you have an interesting idea of where he might go in his storyline, or whether you just even think he should be in Mortal Kombat 11, please leave me a comment below. I'm interested to hear what everybody's thoughts are on Mortal Kombat 11, and if Nether Realm Studios, for whatever reason, was actually watching this. I'm very interested in their job. And honestly, I have Mortal Kombat 11 completely figured out. Even if we didn't do Mortal Kombat 11, right now is a perfect time for Mortal Kombat Special Forces. I know, that was a terrible game, but we have the potential to make it a great game now. Either way, I might expand on that in another video. For right now, this is Ant-Man 2050, Mortal Kombat X 11 Ideas. We'll catch you next time.